on. Pointing at that over there. Let's see, I'll spin this around and we'll point it over there. And that's camera 2. Camera 2. Camera 1. Ba-bam!
Does that roller chair go any lower?
Does it go any lower? I think so. I think it should. This is probably the highest it goes. Hey, everybody. How about now? How about now? Perfect, she says. You got a microphone here, sweet girl. You could attach. Let's see, we're going to be going live officially in just a minute or so. Oh, this isn't the right view, is it? The right view, is it? Let me change this. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Oh, look, there we are.
Hey, look, there we are.
We have Marty Devine. We've got Scott on here. We've got William. We've got Neil. We've got Vern. We've got Michael. We've got Kenneth. We've got... I'm not sure who that is. And I'm afraid to say it. Might get us banned. Hello, everybody. I don't have my glasses.
Bro.
I don't have my glasses. I don't have my glasses. I'm going to have to stand up here so I can read everything.
Perfect. That's exactly what they want to see.
All right.
Your scrunchy face.
My scrunchy face. Give them my best scrunchy face. La, 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 la. La, 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 la.
Hey, I think it's 8 o'clock. We should go live.
Oh, we should go live? Can't go live without the baby.
You're going to pester the baby and try to lay her down.
Uh-huh.
And got her to sleep.
Uh-huh.
You're going to...
Uh-huh. Because we want to see the baby. We got to see the baby.
Look, it's a little baby.
Look, it's a little baby looking away from you guys. So lots of cool stuff to go over tonight. I'm glad you guys are on here with us tonight because we have some stuff to talk about. Don't we, Bessy?
All the stuff.
All the stuff. All the things and stuff. Say howdy to all the boys and girls, Bessy.
Howdy, boys and girls.
Thank you guys for being on here with us today. Thank you guys so much for being on here with us. This is kind of nice. It's kind of like our sitting around chatting with folks video.
Our fireside chats.
Is it a fireside chat?
I know.
I don't know if it is a fireside. Well, we don't really have like a fireside though. Mr. Baba. Hello.
Now, she was asleep. Content as a cucumber.
Oh, it's a baby. Look at the baby. Look at that
If
baby.
you make her cry, you're going to have to hold her the whole time.
Yeah, you take her. I think she's about to cry. Oh. Oh, what a sweetie. All right. So, hey, everybody. This is Dave here at Pulp Alley, and I am with the world's most dangerous Bessy. And baby June. Oh, look, she's got her eyes open now. Oh, she says, howdy, boys and girls. Let's see if I switch to this camera. I bet I can get her on the overhead cam.
Look, it's a baby.
Look, everybody. It's the baby. It's the baby come to destroy the train. It's the baby. It's the baby. Say hello to everybody, June. Say hello to the nice boys and girls out there.
One day she's going to be furious about this video. If it still exists.
Yeah, but it's not today. It's not today that she'll be furious about it. It might be one day. One day you can be furious about this video.
She's gonna be like, Dad.
Look at these toes on this kid. These are monkey toes. Monkey toes. And monkey fingers. Big long monkey fingers and big long monkey toes. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Now that she's awake.
So.
What are we going to talk about tonight?
We got lots of stuff. Bessy,
Okay.
what's our first topic for this evening?
Is it the top one on the list?
Sure.
Indiana Jones, number 5.
Indiana Jones, number 5. Have you guys seen any rumblings about this yet? Out there on the interwebs bouncing around? What do you guys think? Indiana Jones, number 5. This has to be like the last one that will have Harrison in it, you know?
One would hope.
Why do you say that? What do you mean one would hope?
He's a little elderly.
The elder statesman. I don't even know how old he is, but yeah, he's definitely getting up in age.
82.
Yeah, and of course, the older he gets, then the further they push the timeline in the Indiana Jones ahead too. So we have to assume that we're dealing with like something like the 60s or something in this next movie. And
what was the fourth one? Was that 50s?
Yeah, that was more like a 50s. Yeah, the fourth one was more like a 1950s, post World War II,
Russian Cold
War, that sort of thing. So now 10 years later, I guess we're probably heading into the 60s. What the feel that I got from it was 1960s, and I don't know. I think they keep moving the timeline forward, and I don't know. I still like 1940s. 1950s is kind of a stretch. Once you get into the 1960s, I'm pretty much done with it. It just...
I mean, there's aesthetically pleasing things about it that are cute, but...
Yeah. Like what?
Clothing.
The clothing?
Yeah, style. It's called fashion, sweetie. Look it up.
So do we have a list of who all is going to appear in the new Indiana Jones movie? Bessy, look it up. Look it up for us. Find out who's going to be in this new Indiana Jones movie.
I have no equipment to do that.
She has no equipment. All right, you're just going to have to make it up then.
Indiana, Scooby-Doo. So we have Scooby, we have Shaggy.
Harrison
Velma.
Ford is 296 years old, according to his IMDb. That's correct. Harrison Ford and the Scooby Gang. They should do indie movies like James Bond. Just do whatever, whenever, pick up and choose what you like. I agree, Scott. I really wish they would like reset the series or something. And you know, there's a case for that. Like, I don't know. Definitely animated stuff. Animated TV shows for sure. They doesn't matter, you know, the kids don't age, right? Like The Simpsons has been on air for something like 40 years or something, and the kids are still the exact same age that they started. You know, it's just like silly. Bob's Burgers is the same way. You know, they've been on. And Bob's Burgers is funny because, you know, they do holiday specials. So they do every season. They do a Halloween and they do a Thanksgiving. So
Christmas.
Now Louise, who's like, you know, 8 or so years old in the series, she has appeared in like 11 different Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas specials for the show. So she has appeared in more holidays than she's actually has age. So Indianimation could be done cool if done right. Yeah. No, I agree, Brian. I think you're spot on there. And you might have to do that, you know. Legend has it that there was a blood oath sealed between Harrison Ford, and George Lucas and Steven Spielberg that as long as he was alive, as long as Harrison Ford was alive, no other actor would play Indiana Jones. So,
What else you know
well, I mean those, and I have it on good authority. They may have even pinky swore on
Okay,
it.
well, now that's different.
That's
A
different.
pinky
You
swear
can't
is
break that. That's once you pinky swear on something.
That's
Once you
pretty-
have given your pinky, you can't take that back.
You can't take it back.
You can't take it
You
back.
can't take it back.
You can't take it back.
Guaranteed.
I would probably say that the fourth one was my least favorite
Easily.
of the Indiana Jones. And she's a hater, so she's going to hate on it. But
No,
I still found things to enjoy in it. There were things that I did not like. There were probably more things in number 4 that I did not like.
with all three combined of the first three. For me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So typically it's number 2 that was ranked the lowest, like number 1, and then
Sure.
number 2 was the dip, and then number 3 was pretty good. You know, Sean Connery.
Go ahead, do it.
So Sean,
Yeah. Go on.
Sean Connery.
Go on, say
I'm an idiot. Hey, I'm an idiot.
it.
And then number 4 comes out, and then yeah. Now there were some cool things in it. I love that they brought Marion back. That was cool.
Yeah,
How cool was
that's
that?
very-
Some of the jungle scene was kind of cool. The visit to the graveyard was kind of cool. Some of the treasure hunt sort of sequence was kind of cool. The hiding in a refrigerator was kind of goofy, you know, but amusing. And I think you kind of have to take these things in the spirit of the old serials, right? And I'm a fan of the old serials, so you know you can't really hate on a movie like Indiana Jones when you know I'll sit there and watch Jungle Girl.
Well, that's just classic.
See, the guy in the ape suit and everything like that. Jungle Girl getting tied up and in bondage repeatedly.
You like those parts.
But the cool thing I think with that is that Jungle Girl was saving the guys just as often as she was getting saved. They were getting tied up and spanked. So Indiana Jones, I just hope I like it. I just want it to be good. The true question is if you like Temple of Doom versus Last Crusade. Well, Last Crusade was definitely the better of the two. Temple of Doom was cool, and I like all of them. I like all of them. I would sit down and watch any of the Indiana Jones, including number 4, before I'd watch any of the current crop of superhero movies. They just don't do anything for me.
That is big.
They don't, because they don't do anything for me. Like the closest they got was maybe the first Wonder Woman superhero movie that was set in World War I. But I have no interest in watching these movies that, you know.
Let's change topics before Marvel just like destroys us.
Oh, we're gonna get shadow banned. Hey, boys and girls, don't forget to hit that like button for us, please. Be sure to hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, you ought to be. So make sure you get subscribed to our channel. Make sure you hit that bell, because that may be the only way you'll find out about our videos, since we get shadow banned all the time. Crystal Skull is vile. Yikes. Nothing was cool, Dave. Stop.
He's allowed to feel it.
Stop it. Those South Park kids got to get out of the 4th grade, man. Never. What? And that show's been on for like 60 years now, and the same kid still in the 4th grade. Didn't they actually switch grades one time though? Didn't they actually?
I'm not the person to ask.
I think they actually switched grades like early on. They went from like 3rd to 4th or something, maybe, or 4th to 5th. I don't remember. But I always thought that was interesting. Let's see, Scooby and the Gang.
Marty says, I have a hard time with Last Crusade because they turned Marcus and Sala into jokes.
Yeah, I understand why they went that way. There was enough stuff in Last Crusade that I enjoyed. I can't really fault that one. And I guess for me, it's still number one is my personal favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Number three would be second on the list. Number two is third on the list. Number four is the one that I least like. Young Indiana Jones series was good. Now, of course, for the Young Indiana Jones series, you'd rather watch Crystal Skull than say Captain America: Winter Soldier. Was that the first Captain America one? Was that the one in like 1940?
No. Winter Soldier is like maybe the second one.
The second one? And when was that set?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's modern.
To the best of my knowledge, Scott, I have never seen Captain America and Winter Soldier. So there is your answer. And I have watched Crystal Skull at least a few times. So now that doesn't mean maybe if I actually watched Captain America and Winter Soldier, maybe that would turn out to be super awesome. But honestly, I'm not a big superhero fan. Like I enjoy Batman because he's very much falls into like more like the pulp category, the detective sort of thing, at least his old stories.
Yeah.
The reason I like Indiana Jones is because it's period and it's kind of based on those old serials. I like The Shadow. I like that sort of stuff. Even though it was a horrible movie too. The Shadow movie with Alec Baldwin in it was horrible too, but still enjoyable. I would rather watch that sort of thing than any of the current crop of superhero movies.
What's next on the list?
They don't appeal to me. Next topic?
Yeah.
She wants me to move on. Foreground closing. Have you guys seen this about Foreground closing? I guess they're having a big sale right now, and I don't know if this is another like restructuring thing or if they are like gone.
I think it happens in June.
What is
July?
it? Yeah, like they're doing a big sale right now. They just had a massive catalog of stuff, and I don't know if they just collapsed under their own weight of trying to keep up with everything. But costs of stuff are going crazy right now, and that brings us to the topic of card prices on our Pulp Alley store have gone up, and you see these companies going out of business, and it is tough right now. It is really, really tough. So our card prices went up significantly from the manufacturer. So we had to go through and raise all of our card prices as well. I tried to still be as reasonable as I possibly could, and we're taking a cut from what we were making before because I just wasn't comfortable with some of the price increases. So
yeah,
some of the prices, we are making less money now, less of a margin, I guess I should say. We have less of a margin now than we did before, even though we had to increase our card prices across the board. So all of our card prices are higher now. Some of the decks we had to increase by several dollars because, and I've said it before, like our cost to print our starter deck went up by $5. And that's a lot to us, So as we look around and try and find other places that we can get our cards from right now, we're stuck with what we have. What's that say, sweetheart?
Which one?
Scott, everyone loves Winter Soldier. I haven't seen it. Couldn't tell you. I also haven't seen Titanic. I hear that's a movie about a ship. So what? What?
Hey, we're gonna talk about
Only a
what's in
real
front of you.
mutant would rather watch Crystal Soldier. Thank you, Sarah. I'll take Crystal Skull at this time.
Are we gonna talk about what's in front of you?
Yes. We need that shame bell ringing lady from Game of Thrones for Dave. Not sure what that is. What is he talking about there?
Game of Thrones, the lady, she goes, shame, shame, and she rings the bell and they go through.
Okay.
He didn't watch a lot of Game of Thrones either.
I liked parts of Game of Thrones.
No, but you stopped watching.
Well, yeah, after a while, it was like nothing actually happened. They just went from one episode to the next and like absolutely nothing happened. They just sat around and talked about stuff and walked. And that got pretty boring after a while. I could easily drop a couple of grand if I'm not careful trying to get the foreground stuff. Yeah, I went through the catalog and was looking for stuff that, I would still love to have that Gambasi warehouse. But man, I don't know. I'll probably just have to build one myself sometime. I have to force Dave to watch a superhero movie. Oh, okay. I love First Avenger too.
That's the one we want.
Your new video up earlier. Thank you, Jason. I'm glad that helped. And I thought you had some really good points, and it definitely was worth a follow up on it. Titanic is actually very pulpy. See, I would watch Titanic.
Plus, it has
It's period, Zane, right?
And who? Billy Zane.
Oh, and he was the Phantom, I think. Was he the Phantom? See, he was the Phantom. See. Don't tell Dave how Titanic ends. So yeah, that's kind of disappointing to hear about foreground. But man, I tell you what, the cost to make things, the cost to ship things, it's just crazy right now. Never apologize for raising prices as costs rise. Yeah, well, I hate it. I hate doing it though. So we have a live game on Sunday, and that's what the table is set up for. Can you guys see this? Can you see it? Can you see what's going on here? Can you see what I'm hatching?
The wolf and the boys.
I think that's who it's gonna be. I haven't really nailed down.
No, my heart's set on it now.
So I've got the train out here. I'm fairly sure for this scenario, I haven't actually come up with the scenario yet, which is the awful thing. I really have no idea how it's going to play. This is another one of those scenarios, like the last Sunday that we did, was that with the airship and the flying demon fish, dragon. I just wanted to use those things. I wanted those things to be on the table, so then I had to make up a scenario to play it. So now it's putting myself in basically the same sort of situation. I've got a train out here, which I think this time we're going to say is moving, which isn't going to be a big deal. It's just basically going to make, the train a difficult area, maybe some things perilous. It's not a big deal that it's moving, but it's going to make things more perilous. But I don't know. I was also thinking about having the train stopped. We'll just see how it goes. So here's another picture of the train as it's rumbling along. I'll show you some more pictures of this, though. I'll show you some pictures at the other side here. So yeah, it's probably going to be the Wolves League as the league that's going to be playing in this, and they're going to be. See, look, is that freezing? Is that picture freezing?
It is frozen.
So here's the other side. Maybe it's set there too long on the same picture. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. See, look at the weird.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got a truck over here. I've got the armored car. Ooh. And it's not. Is it gonna catch up? I think it's gonna catch up. So I got an armored car over here. I got the passengers. I got the cargo. We got another little cargo area here. So I'm thinking that I don't want to get into it because there's going to be a whole nother setup video for this. There's going to be a whole nother video just to kind of talk about the scenario. Maybe by then, and that's tomorrow, maybe by then I'll actually know how the scenario is going to work and what it's going to have in it. Nothing like, just like when you're running Dungeons and Dragons, right? You don't actually know what the scenario is beforehand. It's like the night before you have to run the game, you go, oh crap, I got to run a game. Oh, let's look through the monster manual and pick out a monster to fight. That one. That's so, But I also, so what I'm thinking is it's going to be a little bit of a precursor to our Manchukuo rally campaign that I've always wanted to do. So it's going to be set in Manchuria. It's going to be set possibly a little bit in Mongolia, possibly a little bit in Siberia, possibly a little bit in Korea, so somewhere around in that area, China, obviously, in the mix there. And then as we go through this campaign, I'd like to introduce more stuff. So maybe in this first scenario, we're going to have a train and we're going to have a truck. Maybe I'll be able to work the armored car into it. I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to be able to do that. But I also have some other projects in the work. So I have a second armored car that I want to work into the campaign later on. And then I have a staff car that I'm working on. And then I have a little Chinese tank, Manchukuo tank. I got another truck. And of course, do you see, boys and girls, do you see what I have sitting right here? Cossacks. Yes, indeed. So we're going to have some cavalry. We're going to have a tank. We're going to have an airplane. We're going to have all kinds of fun stuff. But what I would like to be able to do is kind of introduce those things in maybe one at a time as we go through this next little series of scenarios. Plus, one of the big focuses for this part, for this one also, I'd like to use more gangs. So that's another thing that we're going to be putting out there. Now, this first scenario, again, probably not going to have very many gangs, but we're talking about warlord era Manchuria, and we're going to have forces going at each other. So we're going to have gangs going at it, all kinds of crazy fun stuff. Does that sound like fun? I think that's going to be a ball. Players always mess up your plans. Yeah. I can picture J. June running along the top of the speeding train. Yeah, I was actually worried about that. DW says you can picture J. June running on the top of the speeding train. One is he's a little wobbly up there, if you know what I mean.
He is rock solid.
He's a little wobbly when
wobbly.
It comes to running across the top of the train. He's not as agile as a gazelle, despite what people have told you.
There are all levels of gazelle athleticism.
Is this game based on an existing scenario? Not as of this moment, sir. I honestly have no idea what the scenario is going to be or how it's going to work. I just set out things, and then I have to come up with rules to make them fit into the scenario. Vern says, in our group, my players often go right when I plan for them left. Yeah. I guess that's about it. Please make sure you hit the no, I got 2 minutes. I got 2 minutes. Oh, doggone it. I wanted to get to some questions. Vincent wrote, I was wondering if a player is allowed to brawl shoot a down character to take him out for good. It's a really good question. It pops up every so often. It's an interesting question. So in other words, when you put a character down, can you then continue to attack them? And the short answer is no. It's on what page, like 45 or 49? I don't remember which, but it's in the down rules for what happens when a character is down. Basically, during the game, during the scenario, being down is about the worst case scenario up until the point at the end of that turn. You're going to get your recovery check, and then you're either going to go out of play or you're going to get back on your feet. And I guess what we're talking about here is the idea that, of course, we assume that you're trying to kick them in the head or trying to knock them out, right? We assume that's what's going on. There is no special rule. There is no roll. We don't need any of that. The recovery check happens at the end of the turn, and it assumes that possibly there are people actively trying to keep that character from getting up. That's why they don't automatically recover. They only have a 4 or better to recover. The other thing to remember about it, and I don't know how many of you actually watch MMA or anything like that, but fighters go down all the time. And yes, they get attacked, but that doesn't mean they're laying there motionless, just waiting to be attacked. Sometimes they are, and sometimes they aren't. So that's what that D6 roll, that's what that recovery check at the end of everything is there to represent. So there is no special rule for, I want to go ahead and finish them off. That's just assumed to be part of the game. We also believe that in the course of the game, in the course of the adventure, as players, I don't want that character getting back up, right? In the course of the adventure movies and the adventure stories, there are more things going on around your characters that you need to be focused on and worried about, rather than someone that has just fallen down and maybe out of the fight. And we even looked at a rule for, as an action, you could knock out a character. And we play tested it. And once you actually play the game, most of the time it's a stupid rule, because if that's the only thing that you have to do, if your characters have so little to do in the game that you're worried about a character that has a 50-50 chance of going out of play at the end of the turn, rather than dealing with the characters around you that you could fight or the plot points that you could be going after, there's so much else that you should be doing in the game, that if there's not anything else, then, look, it's just kind of goofy. You don't see it a lot in the old serials. You definitely don't see it in the pulp magazines and things like that. And that's sort of what we're trying to represent. Even in a realistic sort of situation, normally you're going to be far more interested in the people that are still on their feet around you, pointing their weapons at you or coming towards you, rather than, I got to make sure I chop off this guy's head. Wow. And toss him in my bag. The head chopping should come after the scenario, by the way. So if you have a character that's a head hunter,
tell me when I can head hunt. Do not. I will head hunt when I want to head hunt.
So there is not a rule for that. It is expected to be part of the normal thing. That's why the character only has a 4 or better to get up. All right, that is it for tonight. Dan, I have 2 other questions, but I think we'll have to save those for another time. Did we have any questions come up there? Would you ever consider a game based on the movie Congo? Which movie is that? Do we know that movie?
I don't know, but we need to cancel this.
Naked
Don't say
online
that.
strips without. Boy, they know the big channels to come spend.
They know.
They know where.
They know the high end stuff.
Yeah, I guess reported as well. Cancel. Just hit the cancel. Anyway, we're done, boys and girls. We have, for those of you that, is it a link? Well, don't click on it, whatever you do, guys out there. Don't ban the naked strips yet. I think they make some excellent points so far. I would agree, sir. I would agree. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming, especially Naked HD. I appreciate them coming on here and chatting with us this evening. We will see you next time. Bye, everybody. Wake up the orchestra. Click on that naked ladies, hot naked ladies. Dun 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 dun.